Miss Lorenz. I teach AP Environmental Science at Summit Tahoma.
My name is Kevin Franey, and I'm the 9th grade history teacher and a 12th grade mentor.
Doug Wills. I teach AP Statistics and AP Calculus.
Hi, I'm Ethan, and I'm a senior.
I'm Monica Hansen. I'm the Dean of Expeditions here at Tahoma.
I'm Jonathan Stewart. I'm the director here at Summit Tahoma.
So are you up to date with the 2020 presidential election, and what is something that stands out so far?
Reasonably, I would say I'm more up to date than 99.9% of people. It's definitely, like, I check the polls, the new polls that come out every day.
I am somewhat up to date about it. In some ways, I feel less interested until we're actually a few months away from the election, because we're still over a year away from the election. And I think that sometimes the elections distract from the governing that should be happening. Nonetheless, I'm interested by the number of Democratic candidates there have been in the field. I think the Democratic Party has been doing a fair job of narrowing the number of candidates, though.
So which candidate do you resonate the most with?
I think Elizabeth Warren stands out to me a lot as someone who isn't just running to beat Trump, but running for specific issues. I'd say Kamala Harris as well, as someone who's in that same role.
I'm not sure. I would probably be a little bit more on like the far left side of the political spectrum. And so I think like Warren and Sanders resonate with me a lot. I was really interested in Bernie Sanders when he was running in the previous election.
Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard from Hawaii. I really like the way she conducts her foreign policy ideas, because one thing she's against is regime change wars in the Middle East and throughout the world. And I do believe that for the past 18 years or so, 19 years, our country has been involved in way too many conflicts that we do not need to be a part of in the first place.
I'm in love with Elizabeth Warren. I think every time she talks, I'm in love with her. So, I wish she didn't want to do away with the filibuster in the Senate. That is probably my only problem with any of her stances.
So what changes do you want or expect from the presidential election?
I would like there to be some respect to come back to that office. I think at this point it is a joke. We watch as our president goes off on Twitter tirades that are not professional, not what I would expect from being one of the most powerful people in the world. And I'd like to see some restraint come back. And that would be good.
What trends do you often see when it comes to these elections, and is there anything that you think should be improved with the system?
Yeah, I am concerned about the influence of money in elections. I don't know what the right balance is, but people spend hundreds of millions of dollars on elections, and I wonder what would happen if instead that money was spent on services and infrastructure in our country.
What are some issues with the government that are important to you?
Let's see. There's definitely quite a few. I would say transparency, because a lot of people do take money from donor groups, which makes them corrupt. 2, I would also say foreign policy, domestic policy, and immigration.
I guess college tuition is important to me. That's a big one, largely because in an ideal world, my opinion on it is that it wouldn't be paid for by the government, but I think that the way that secondary education pushes everyone to go to college, it's putting a bunch of 18-year-olds in a position to sign tens of thousands of dollars to their name without having any context to what that means. And I don't think that's reasonable. I don't think it's any more reasonable than a 15-year-old being able to max out $25,000 on a credit card. Healthcare is also important. I think people shouldn't have to have money to not die.
So what's your background in politics, if you have any?
Well, I've been interested in politics since I was very young. I remember when I was 7 years old knowing who the Prime Minister of Great Britain was. And I've always followed the presidential elections.
That's interesting. Yeah, I've never worked directly in politics, but definitely I've always had an interest in it. And as a history teacher, I feel like it's very important to what I teach.
Yeah, I grew up in the Bay Area in the liberal bubble. Both my parents went to Cal Berkeley, and so I'm very influenced by them, and they ingrained in me the importance of being politically active and to be a critical thinker of what's going on in our world. And then I actually studied political science and history in college in DC. So I love politics, and I think it's extremely important.
So, do you think you'll be voting this year?
Yes.
100%. I vote in every election, no matter how small or how big.
After October 11th, my 18th, yeah, I will be.
I vote every year.
Absolutely.